following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network's review show here of AEW Dynamite. I'm one of your hosts, as usual, Karlifornia in Fury, alongside my esteemed co-host, Juicy Boy. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, Carl. Good to be here, as usual, for our ongoing AEW review series, and quite a bit to talk about here in this episode.
Yeah, man, 6 weeks deep now, and I think before I even get to the review, I want to be honest. Like I didn't really feel like watching the show today or doing a review or anything. I don't know if you're up to speed on what's happened with Daphne.
No.
You're not aware? Okay. Probably should have told you before we started recording. Yeah, something happened where she was live on Instagram, and it appeared it was like a live suicide note. Yeah, like I've been on Twitter back and forth all day trying to keep my eye on the latest with her, and we still don't, like, no one really knows what's going on. So yeah, I've been a bit upset today, obviously, because that's someone that I admire. So I guess I just want to start this off by just throwing out the thoughts and love her way. And if people out there are wondering why my energy level isn't as usual, my usual self, it's because of this. So yeah, just wanted to start the show off by mentioning that. So anyway, we'll get to the review, bro. Dynamite begins, and we're heading straight into this FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. It's the big grudge match that has been built up from promo videos since the injury. Take it away, bro. What did you think?
Yeah, so I remember thinking, wow, I'm surprised that this match is already happening, but here it was. Great way to open the show. Look, I just thought that this match was basically everything that it needed to be. It was exactly what I was hoping that the return match between these two teams would be. FTR looked great. There was some very creative, just a lot of, it's hard, I can't even describe it. It wasn't so much that there was a lot of innovative high spots. It was just that they were using sort of like fundamental tag team wrestling in sort of a fresh way. I just felt like, there was a real nice flow to this match that I couldn't quite put my finger on. It's like the two teams have kind of reached this place where they're really comfortable working together, and they've really developed a great kind of synergy with each other. And all of that was on display in this match. I thought that Harwood and Wheeler looked fantastic in this. Wheeler looked like he barely missed a step. The closest thing to a botch that I could say occurred in this match was when Wheeler jumped off the top rope and then rolled through. He sort of looked a little wonky on the roll through, but even that was still successfully executed. So not much of a complaint from me. I want the viewers to go and actually watch this match. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of the spots and stuff. Like, watch it. This is what tag team wrestling should be. A- from me, Carl. Great way to open the show.
Yeah, bro, for sure. It was a good match. A real tag team match, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
with
we obviously
heat,
had some, that's it. We had some, complaints about the Jurassic Express Lucha Bros match on Rampage. And I felt this was kind of like the opposite of that. So a good way to open the show. I liked that they were working on the arm. The build throughout the match was good. Loving Tully's interactions at ringside and responses to certain moments. The only moment of the match that kind of annoyed me was, I guess, one of the guys was supposed to break up the pin, but was a little late to it. So someone had gone for a pin attempt, and the referee had to hesitate to start the count because he knew that that person would probably not make it in time when he's coming down for 3. So shit happens, though. Santana and Ortiz get the win. And it feels like the feud's probably going to continue. Like I just feel like it's not over yet. They still need to figure out that full stop at the the end of the story. So
it does really feel like there's more meat on the bone, doesn't it? With these two.
Like maybe it needs to end in some sort of stipulation match or something. I don't know. But I can see a few more outings for these two teams. Moving forward, 2.0 and Garcia backstage. I can't remember what they said. I was spending the whole time wondering why it was out of sync, but I don't know if it's just what we had downloaded was.
So I think there was a couple of little audio sync issues. Don't know if that was our version of the broadcast or whether it was something that occurred live on the actual broadcast, but Garcia and 2.0 were backstage. Essentially what they said, Carl, was that they were going to take a great deal of delight in being the ones that deprive the fans of this CM Punk versus Darby Allin match that they're all so excited for, and that they were going to be proud to deprive everyone of that match and glorify their own selves because they feel like they deserve more attention than what they're getting. Good little promo, and kind of set up what we would see later on in the event.
That's it, and I like that they're giving these guys chances to talk every week. It's building them up nicely. Next segment, Punk comes out, and it's another segment where he's just going to be on the mic in the ring. Obviously, this is going to lead to something. Thankfully, he did mention at the beginning of the promo that he knew that there were some people that were already sick of him doing this, and people need to relax a little bit. I think, bro. He's only been there 2 weeks. Like, he's not.
What do you want?
Bro, I saw some people fucking whinging that he should have had a match before All Out. And I'm like, no.
You can't do that. You're trying to get a buy rate. You're trying to fucking get a buy rate for the show. Jesus Christ, just be patient.
Exactly. I'm like, you don't understand the business then, dude. Like, that's the whole point. TV is supposed to be the advertisement for the pay-per-view. You don't give away pay-per-view quality shit and then expect people to buy the pay-per-view when they could just see a pay-per-view every fucking week. It's not how it works. So anyway, I like that he brought that up. And then, of course, I was surprised that he got attacked and seeing a 3-on-1 beatdown there. So that was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And, of course, out comes Sting and Darby. Great little moment with the finishing maneuvers. Sting gets on the mic, talks some stuff. It's some good stuff, and it all helps build to this matchup between the two of them at All Out this weekend. And what did you think, bro?
Yeah, so I like the fact that Punk did get a little bit of physical here. You got to see him throw a few punches. You got to see him hit a GTS. You got to see him kind of move around in the space, in the ring a little bit. Little teaser of what we're going to see at the pay-per-view. Just enough, not too much was given away here. Punk didn't pop his shirt off or anything like that. Didn't do anything crazy. Just a few punches and hit a finisher and, just to get the audience excited. I like that they actually had Punk do a little something, as I said. I like the idea that even in defeat, they're doing something with Garcia and 2.0. Like the fact that they're interacting with Punk here shows that the company wants to do something with them. I really like that. It was a segment that helped everybody involved, basically. Darby and Sting came out. Sting basically discussed how he plans to hang back and not be at ringside for the match between Darby and Punk because he knows that they're both ready and that they're going to do battle. So he doesn't need to be out there because Darby's already ready for the match. So that, again, was a good little touch. If Sting's excited about the match, then, fans should definitely be excited about it because, it's a match that seems to have everybody, even in the business, kind of interested. So, yeah, I liked that. I'd give this segment probably a B-.
Cool, bro. And one other thing I wanted to mention was, obviously, this wasn't the time and place for it, but Garcia and 2.0 seem to have been doing this quite a lot, being a little bit of a menace on the show, but they never seem to get to keep the heat for it too long. It always seems the comeuppance comes very soon after. So I hope going forward, eventually the trio get to, I guess, keep that heat for, at least a few weeks at a time, instead of having that heat just, that hot air balloon just sucked right out immediately. But obviously this was not the time and place for it. It was just a nice moment to have. Who would have thought you'd see Darby, Sting, and Punk all at the same time hitting finishes on people? It's just like it's a moment in time, I suppose.
Absolutely.
We followed this up with it was like a Cage Omega promo video. Not much really to add there. It's just, some of the continued good stuff with that aspect of the show. And we get to another talking segment here. Tony sitting down with MJF. And yeah, man, MJF is a talker, that's for sure. Probably the best promo I've seen him cut. What did you think?
Yeah, A- for the promo. This was fantastic. Again, I recommend people go out of their way to watch it. I don't want to spoil any of it. Fantastic promo. Got me more invested in the MJF Jericho match.
Yeah. Moving forward to the next match on the show, Orange Cassidy taking on Jack Evans from the Hardy family office. I'll take this one to start off with, bro. I've just got a few dot points. Obviously, very spotty kind of match. You can tell that they've got spots and they're working through their spots and they're kind of cooperating with one another. But I could only bag them out too much. I just felt like it didn't really look like a fight. But at the same time, it wasn't that bad. And yeah, it was okay. I'd seen this week, people on Twitter, when the match was announced, I saw a lot of fans going like, oh, why is Jack Evans on Dynamite? Why is this feud still going? This feud is so boring, blah, blah, blah. And I just feel like, man, I don't know. Some fans are just so negative and just constant. Like, why not let Jack Evans get on Dynamite? Who cares? Like, he's a part of the group. The story's continuing, obviously. Like, I don't know how long it's been going for. I mean, it's been on and off, since we started doing these reviews. I don't know how long before that it has been, but, it's a feud. Fucking whatever.
It's fine to criticize, to either like or not like something, but like, at least let's all be glad for the wrestlers that get TV time and stuff like that,
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's not setting the world on fire by any means, but I don't know, whatever. I just feel like some people need to like just get off their high horse sometimes when it comes to this. Like, people deserve opportunities, even if they've had some issues recently with botching or whatever. Jack did pretty good in this matchup as far as I was concerned, despite us feeling like it wasn't much of a match that looked like an actual fight. And the only other thing I wanted to say was the small package victory did come out of nowhere. It was a nice surprise, but apparently it happened whilst they were still in the commercial break. So I was a bit miffed by that. And then there was an attack after the match, and here come fucking Jurassic Express to make the interference. Obviously, they got to set something up so they can put them on the pre-show, the buy-in for this weekend. But I really wanted to see the Hardy family office get some heat, because last week Matt lost. So I wanted to see them get some heat going to the pay-per-view. But who knows? Maybe they're going to win the match at the pay-per-view. Whatever. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, look, this match was, fairly inoffensive. It suffers from what I like to call the John Morrison syndrome, which is that as good of an athlete as Jack Evans may be, and John Morrison used to suffer from this issue as well, his matches looked performed. They don't look like their fights. That does take a little bit of the immersion away. However, it's clearly booked to be that kind of match where you've got two high flyers, two smaller guys that are going to go in there and do their thing and excite the crowd. And I got no problem with that. There were no botches in this match. This was executed pretty well. I liked the idea that they followed up with Cassidy and the Hardy family office and everything like that. I'd probably give this a C+. It was not bad at all.
Yeah, not a problem, really. Just fuck, man. Just couldn't Jurassic Express come out without the theme song?
Yeah.
Couldn't they just run out? Why play the theme? Just have them run out.
And the last thing on the finish, actually, I will add to it, is that it goes back to the same thing with that Ricky Starks Brian Cage segment several weeks ago. You can't go back in time to that moment where the small package small package occurred. You've wasted it now. It's occurred during the commercial. Replaying it's not enough. People have been taken out of the match, you know? So that's all I'll say about that. But other than that, nothing too offensive with this one.
Yeah, this picture-in-picture advert break thing, I thought that they'd really evolved the advert break, but now I'm starting to find it to be irritating that it seems to happen in every fucking match. Okay, moving forward, 2 promo videos, Miro versus Kingston, good shit, and of course a bit from Moxley and Kojima for their upcoming match at All Out. Thoughts on these, bro?
Yeah, so I'll keep it quick again. The Kingston Miro promo was really good. I thought Kingston comported himself, like really put himself over really well, and also kind of put Miro over, you know, nicely too. Like, this was just good. I liked it. There was kind of a sort of a real serious sort of a vibe that he was kind of putting across, like almost like your fate's already been sealed, Miro. This is what's going to happen. I'm not in control of what's going to happen. You're not in control of what's going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to take that TNT title, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's already been decided. Basically, was the vibe that I got in the way that he was talking. And Miro then had a little direct response to the promo and actually referenced what Kingston said, which I like the touch of let Miro see the promo before you record his response. And, you know, let Miro actually feed off of what Kingston presented in his promo. They did that really effectively. This got me even more pumped for this match. This is one of the matches that I'm most excited to see at All Out.
Excellent, bro. JR's in the ring, brings out Chris Jericho. I take off my headphones. I just can't do it, man. It's the same with the Jungle Boy theme song, and I just can't do it anymore, man. I'm fucking over it. The sing along. I don't, and again, we've said this the last few weeks. We're not trying to be the fun police, but fuck, it's just grinding on me so much. And shout out to the Jerizone. You guys can fuck yourselves. The Jerizone, my god. Very decent, passionate promo. DJ, give us your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, look, A- for the Jericho promo. This did everything that it needed to do in terms of building up the match between Jericho and MJF from Jericho's side, but it also didn't take anything away from what MJF said. It was a great response, but it was from Jericho's perspective. And yeah, again, a great response and companion to MJF's earlier promo. Good work by Jericho. You know, I have to give the devil his due. Like, I'd give this an A- for this promo.
Yeah. And moving on from the angle that's going quite well to an angle that's fucking going nowhere. Powerhouse Hobbs takes on Brian Cage. 6 weeks, bro. 6 weeks. And we finally see Cage get in the fucking ring. And that's including with Rampage being added to the fucking list. So that's 9 shows, and Cage finally performs on one of the main shows. If he wrestled on Dark or whatever, it doesn't fucking count, all right? So, yeah. Take it away, bro. What did you think?
Yeah, look, again, not a lot to see here in this match. Obviously, Taz did great on commentary, as always. There were some nice power moves on display in this match. But it felt like too little too late, because I felt like I'd forgotten about this angle. It's been so long since anything of significance has occurred to, you know, escalate it. Now we're having the match suddenly. I just think both of these guys are terrific athletes and both powerful guys, but they're too big and strong to be in there with each other. I think that there was a little bit of clumsiness and a little sort of a bit of stiltedness about this match. And I just felt like you got these two big meathead type, you know, well-built guys, and I just didn't think that they were able to establish a good flow. Nice finishing move by Powerhouse Hobbs to end it, Emerald Flosion. This is getting a D+ from me. I was really unimpressed considering how long that they've been building this up.
Yeah, I just feel like it was flat, bro, because the angle itself has not done it any,
Yeah.
It certainly hasn't helped the situation. If there was a whole bunch of heat and a great build to this matchup, other than like a couple of weeks ago, they brawled in the backstage area and you never fucking saw the conclusion of that brawl or the pull apart or anything. There's nothing behind this matchup that's gonna get those fans out of their seats, because the fans were sitting on their fucking hands the whole time. So I feel like that can really have an effect on a match when the fans clearly aren't invested in what they're seeing and invested in wanting to see, Cage overcome the odds here. And I really felt like they both should have had a maybe a squash win on actual TV leading to this one, just to build themselves. Because again, we haven't seen them fucking do anything in several weeks, and we haven't seen them actually perform a match in the ring in fucking 6 weeks. So I wrote again, where is this angle going? I can't even imagine where they're going with it, because it feels like they don't know where they're going with it. I thought Starks, people will have a hard time with the title shot to the head. I think he laid it in pretty good and it made it look, realistic. So I did like the finish, but yeah, I think the biggest problem this match faced was, again, no heat. Fucking story sucks. The angle sucks, and they're doing these guys, this whole group of people, a disservice, I think. Okay, moving forward, Malakai Black with another fantastic promo on Lee Johnson, and I like that they ensured that he mentioned why he got out the ring when Lee Johnson kind of made the save for the Andersons. Because when we watched that, we're like, what the fuck would he? Why didn't he get back in there and fucking wipe him out? But it did pop me in this promo when he was giving him however long to fucking, whatever it was, apologize or for getting involved, and then he won't do what he's going to do to win. So I really like the arrogance of the character. What are your thoughts, bro?
A+ promo, fantastic. Again, seeing a little bit more of Malakai Black's persona on display. I loved it.
So the next segment that takes place, Juicy Boy, the Factory and QT Marshall come out and call out Paul Wight.
This was great. Like, I can't even wait, man. You have to let me start, man. Okay. So,
okay, go for it.
QT Marshall comes out with the Factory, wearing one of his bowling shirts, basically hell arrogantly and undeservedly comes out and calls Big Show out, demands that Big Show come to the ring. He's flanked by 4 other guys. Big Show comes in. As soon as he steps over the top rope, he gets mobbed by the 4 guys. He manages to fly swat him away. Fucking gets, choke slams a couple of them, knocks one of them out. It's sick. The crowd's going crazy at this point. Big Show looks great. He's cleared house. QT and the Factory are backing up the entranceway. They're really upset. They've got the facial expressions going. It's really good. Weirdly, Billy Gunn and his sons, Austin and Colt, the Gun Club, come out to sort of back Big Show up. And I remember I didn't really say it at the time, but I was thinking in my head, like, why have they come out after Big Show's already got the situation well in hand? I bet it's going to be some kind of a setup, right? So then it goes on. They kind of celebrate with Big Show for a few moments. I'm at this point starting to think maybe it's not a setup. Maybe they just sent him out there to sort of provide some moral support for Big Show and show that Big Show's got some friends of his own. Right as I'm thinking that, man, Billy Gunn takes a chair, belts Big Show in the surgically repaired hip. Big Show goes down. He's screaming in pain. The commentators are talking about that as if that alone might be enough to get this match called off. Billy Gunn then follows it up with one to a shot to the head. At that point, QT Marshall's been pretending like this is all a big shock to him and he has no idea. We still didn't really find out definitively whether or not he's actually fully in league with the Gun Club, but he took advantage of it either way. He came in. Every member of the Factory lifted Big Show up so that QT Marshall could spend a lot of time grabbing the 3/4 face lock hold. Then he delivers like a really like lame, non-impactful, almost like a ceremonial cutter to Big Show that was more of like an insult, like a display of dominance, rather than it was intended to do physical damage. We were kind of laughing our asses off at just the unearned, like megalomania, like megalomaniacism, however you say the word, you know what I'm saying. Megalomania.
Maniacal.
Yeah, the megalomaniacal behavior of QT Marshall. QT Marshall was at one stage one of the people we hated the most on this roster. And now we're becoming fans of his, and I'm proud to say that. I hope that happens with more talents in the future that we aren't that big on right now.
Well, perhaps it was because he was working with Cody. Like maybe like it just didn't click with us through that feud.
I don't know, but ever since he's been wearing the bowling shirt, man, he's transformed, man. I'm liking it, man. The used car salesman, like I'm digging it, dude.
Yeah, dude. I saw someone make a tweet earlier that I kind of laughed at. QT Marshall is the kind of guy that will go to any restaurant, like even a fancy restaurant, and put tomato sauce on his meal. But yeah, look, it was a bit like out of left field that the Gun Club would turn here, but interesting stuff,
Yeah, I don't mind.
I want to see a Paul Wight Billy Gunn match on Dynamite. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I want to see all those like AEW marks whinge. Oh, why is this match being booked for Dynamite?
Because it'll draw.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll have heat.
And yeah, the cutter, bro. The cutter was just so good because there was no impact on it. The guy was already laid out. This was not adding to anything. The landing, there was no impact. It was just so unearned that he gets this big moment. Why are all these guys helping this guy that doesn't deserve it?
Yeah, like I don't know. I think they might actually be students that he's trained because QT is like in charge of the like he's got his own training school, and I believe that training school is now AEW's like developmental.
Right, of course, but yeah,
promotion.
Some good stuff there.
Yeah,
and I wanted to go on a bit of a rant here, DJ. Like I had a minor rant with the Jack Evans thing, but I saw on Twitter this week, right? People like, okay, I don't like Cody, right? He's like the one that I dislike most in the wrestling business. I don't really like Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks either. But I'm not going to go out of my way to like harass them and send them really mean tweets and try and upset them and ruin their day. You know what I mean? I just mute Cody so I don't have to see anything from him. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and like hurt his feelings or whatever. I'll just leave him alone. I don't care that much. But I see people like QT put up a post, hyping the big match at All Out. It's the graphic of QT Marshall versus Paul Wight.
And I'm excited for the match.
I'm excited too. And I'm seeing comments from these fucking skid marks saying this should be on the buy-in, this shouldn't be on the actual show. Nobody wants to see this. That's something that I spoke to Nick Aldis about, was that there are fans that state things as if they're facts. I want to see the match. You want to see the match. I feel like real, like, decent wrestling fans out there can get this angle and would like to see this match. Why wouldn't you have Paul Wight on the pay-per-view? It's Paul Wight. I don't give a fuck. Like, and this was one thing that I thought was interesting when he got signed. I was like, I can't wait to see how these diehard fans start to react when Paul Wight gets the opportunity to actually perform in the ring. Because proof was in the pudding this week on Twitter with the way that people were attacking QT, saying, oh, your promo against Paul was so scripted and blah, 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 and this feud is so boring. And it's like, no, it's not. There's been more different stuff to this feud than we have with all the other feuds that are going nowhere, like Park and Andrade and the Team Taz with Brian Cage. Because you had the thing where he put the graphic on the screen with the hip surgery, and you had the thing last week with the Gun Club getting the surprise win and Paul fucking storming off commentary to, cracking the shits at QT. And then you had this thing this week where he had literally fucking like 8 people had to help him finally get him down so that he can hit this stupid cutter on him and get one over on him leading to the pay-per-view. There's some heat built there. Now we really want to see Paul Wight kill this guy.
Like that puts something in my head that I feel like, it's important to mention. All right. Like this storyline right now between Q Marshall and Big Show is a personal issue between those two characters. This feud is not about giving the fans this incredible match that's going to be a 5-star match and it's going to blow their minds. This match is not about paying fan service to fans that want to sing along to theme musics or like that want to feel like they're a part of the show. They are not a part of this feud between these two characters. This is a personal issue between these two guys that have come to hate each other, that the audience is just going to happen to be in attendance for because they've decided that they're going to settle the issue once and for all at the pay-per-view. That is the kind of heat that this feud is trying to build. That is the kind of tone that this feud is trying to follow. This feud is not for the fans that want to see the Young Bucks do 500 flips and fucking 700 super kicks. And it's not for the fans that enjoy Orange Cassidy wrestling half a match with his hands in his pocket. This match is for people that enjoy the older style of wrestling where things were personal issues were settled between the two combatants and we were just lucky enough to be able to watch it. Because it's about the two within kayfabe. It's about them. It's about QT and Big Show and their hatred for each other. It's not about the fans. So all the fans saying that they hate this feud, it's because it doesn't pay fan service to them and suck their dicks. That's why they have a problem with it.
It's like, are you fucking serious out there? Like, he's gonna sign Paul Wight, who has been famous in the industry since 1995. You imagine Tony telling, "Oh yeah, your AEW debut, we're gonna have to push it to the buy-in, the pre-show, because some fans, would prefer to have the Casino Royale on the show rather than that or whatever it was." And it's like, fuck off. That's never gonna happen. He's Paul Wight. He's a bigger name than almost everyone on that fucking show. So I think those fans should just shut the fuck up and enjoy what they're given and give it a chance. Give QT a chance. Give Paul Wight a chance. They haven't even gotten the ring there yet, and they've already made their minds up about how it's going to go. So it's just bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
I just felt it was important to talk about stuff like that because I'll be honest with you, bro. Like this Go Home show, like a lot of people, I saw some other comments on Twitter. Oh, what a great Go Home show. Oh, that was the best Go Home show. There was really nothing to this show. Like there was no peaks and valleys. There was no, drama. And we're going to get to the things that people will perceive as drama, especially with what happened at the end of the show. But honestly, this was like a pretty standard show where nothing really was furthered that much. We just got to see a few things happen.
When I started watching wrestling, bro, the kind of tone and the kind of pace that this show had tonight would have been a mid-month episode of TV. Like this would have been kind of a stepping stone on the road to the Go Home show where something even bigger would happen to kind of get everyone pumped for the pay-per-view. This did not really feel like a Go Home show. If I didn't already know that the pay-per-view was this weekend, I would not really be aware that this was the Go Home show for All Out.
That's it. And it's kind of like, I remember back in the day, a Go Home show, stakes would be raised even further. Things would happen that might change certain situations that would be happening at the pay-per-view, So like, it's just the art of the Go Home show. AEW still aren't getting that yet. And WWE forgot how to do that a long time ago. I remember once seeing a Go Home show before a WrestleMania thinking, wow, they're really just taking it easy tonight because they got WrestleMania this week. So like the art of the Go Home show, those cliffhangers, all of that kind of like crazy turmoil, circumstances changing for certain matches heading in. Yeah, okay, we got Big Show attacked and had his hip attacked or whatever, but as far as like some of the more important stories, I feel like fuck all was produced. Moving forward though, bro, Britt Baker cuts a promo talking about how she is re-signed with the company for another few years or whatever, and mentioned that her backup now are going to be in the Casino Royale at the pay-per-view, which has now been promoted to the pay-per-view because apparently the Andrade Park match is no longer happening due to some traveling issues for Park.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think he's locked into Europe at the moment. So, yeah, what did you think of this, bro?
Yeah, I thought Britt Baker cut a good little promo. She always cuts good promos. She's basically one of the top stars in the industry right now for me. She did a great job of putting over her co-conspirators, Rebel and Jamie Hayter. And so, yeah, I thought that this was short, sweet, and everything that it needed to be. I'd give this a B as well.
Cool. Penelope Ford with the Bunny taking on Ty Conti in the token women's match on the show. This seems to be the running theme, isn't it?
It's turned into a good match, though.
It is, but they only get one match a show. It seems. I mean, I know that the dark shows and all that seem to get a plethora of women's matches, but they need to maybe put two on here and there. But again, the ladies don't have many ongoing issues right now. There's no stories and character development really taking place for any of them, which is the same thing we've been talking about the last 6 fucking weeks. Anyway, as you said, it was a pretty good match. Nice back and forth match. Great finish. And I wrote Ty Conti is my fucking girl. She killed it. And then, of course, Anna Jay makes her big return to a very, very decent pop from the crowd. Do you have anything else to add, bro?
No, I'd give this match a B+. This was one of my favorite matches on the show. It was really, really refreshing to see both ladies be able to actually get some time and actually spend some time building up a match and trade holds back and forth and kind of show off their actual finesse in the ring. This got enough time to where like I was able to get invested in this. And I at a certain points, I did not know who was going to win this match. And generally I consider myself to be relatively good at kind of knowing like who the likely winner in any given match is. So I love when I'm kind of surprised or when I don't know. And yeah, great victory for Ty Conti. Super bad Penelope Ford looked fantastic in this match. Anna Jay looked fantastic. Great pop on the return for her. This was everything that you'd want this segment to be. So high marks from me.
Absolutely. And the next segment was everything you wouldn't want a segment to be.
Exactly.
Rosa is backstage. I guess she's getting interviewed or whatever. It's immediately interrupted because this is like, it seems like this is the only thing that they can think of to start an issue as a random interruption from people. So Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, Vicky Guerrero, and whoever the guy is, I still don't know his name.
No, I can't. Oh, isn't that Smart Mark Sterling or whatever his name is? Smart Mark.
Probably. We'll go with that. I thought this was shit. This was shit. Look, the last few weeks have been saying you've got this big 20 women Casino Royale match. 20 women. I want to see them all start interacting with each other to build this up so that there's heat across the board. So it looks like, oh man, like there's so many issues going on here, but they failed to do that. And this was like their attempt, I guess, at trying to do that by just having her randomly attacked by these two. Obviously she wanted to stick up for herself, but it was just so shit. And there was no creative thought process behind it. And, they're all standing there talking and she's laying on the ground. Like they didn't hurt her that bad. You watch a wrestling match and you get pummeled a few times, you back up on your feet, but she's already down and out, not moving. and they're just standing around. I don't know. It was just shit, dude. Like, and this is where it makes me think, okay, this is where you need someone who's got a creative mind backstage there, because if this is Tony Khan's idea, then it goes to show that he shouldn't be writing the show, because anyone could have thought of this, and there was nothing really interesting to it. Do you have anything else to add to this, bro?
Not really, other than that I'm disappointed that they couldn't have someone agent this segment a bit better. I feel like this did not do any favors for any woman that was in the segment. And that's a shame. It's a shame that the lack of forethought that was put into this segment just kind of resulted in nobody looking very good. It's a real shame.
Like, you know what would have been better? Like, whoever else was in the match.
Yeah.
Have Nyla and Jade Cargill attack Thunder Rosa, but then have a bunch of other girls that are going to be in the match jump in. Then a bunch of other, have nearly all 20 women that are going to be in the match just brawling in the back there, a massive brawl with all these women, and then have all the referees and security run in, try and pull it apart.
Yeah.
You could have made it pandemonium, dude, not just in one small little spot backstage. It should have been pandemonium.
Yeah. This segment should have really taken place either in the women's locker room or in the hallway just outside the women's locker room, because then it would have made logical sense that all these women would congregate and that there would be plenty of people there to break it up and everything like that. The way that this was done, it just looked like a terribly choreographed scene from a student film that I might have made in high school or something like that. It just... it was even less realistic than wrestling typically is. It was just terrible. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, man. And then look at that right there. Like, I already came up with an idea that would have made it so much better, and I'm just some random guy here in Perth. So, I don't know what it is with the company. They need to start bringing in people who can be extras, as security, etc., because they have a lot of situations where it necessitates people like that. Anyway, another Jericho MJF hype video. There's nothing else to add there.
No.
And another note that I wrote down, we haven't heard anything from Lance Archer in weeks after that shitty little attack that was made on him by Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we haven't heard anything from...
Haven't heard a thing. Haven't heard. Dan Lambert was, I think he talked on Rampage, but nothing from Lance Archer in weeks. And it makes me think, bro, what's going to happen when Daniel Bryan comes in? What's going to happen when Bray Wyatt possibly comes in, or Adam Cole comes in? If you have an influx of even more guys, and you're already fucking doing fuck all with people like Andrade and Lance Archer.
Don't forget Adam Page. Adam Page is on paternity leave right now because he's having a baby.
Exactly.
Like Adam Page, he comes back, boom, that's another prominent position that's taken away again.
What are these guys gonna fucking do? They can't even fucking keep something going for someone like Brian Cage every week, it's been he's shown up twice in 6 weeks,
There's just too many people on the roster right now.
I don't know what they're gonna do, bro. Something needs to happen. Rampage probably needs to be another half hour longer, and then maybe it'll help the situation, help alleviate the situation. Anyway, time for the main event, bro. Take it away, please.
All right, so you had the Lucha Brothers, and then you had Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, Jurassic Express, teaming up in an 8-man tag to face the Elite, the team of the Young Bucks and Gallows and Anderson. This match did not offend me as much as a typical Young Bucks match would. I actually thought that this match was not too bad for most of it. However, I do still feel like, there's such a number of times in this match, the referees just blatantly didn't bother to enforce the rules. And everyone involved in the match just acted like the rules didn't exist so that they could do whatever spot that it was. That happened on several occasions. But other than that, I would actually give this match a C-. Like, I actually thought this match wasn't too bad. It did not overstay its welcome. It kind of got the last 15 minutes on the show, or the last 10 minutes, kind of. So yeah, this was fine. It did not offend me. That's why it's getting a C. The stuff afterwards, Kenny Omega comes down at the end, and he and the rest of the Elite start beating down the baby faces. They start beating down Jurassic Express. Obviously, Christian Cage is going to run out to make the save. At that point, it becomes apparent that they wanted Christian Cage to run out to make the save. Now they begin beating down on Jurassic Express, Lucha Brothers, and Christian Cage. They order the cage to be lowered down. That's already in place for the upcoming tag team title match. They bring it down. Now the baby faces are trapped in there, and the heels are all delivering beatdowns. Kenny Omega actually didn't look too bad here, but as you said, this didn't really quite have the spark to it that I think that they were expecting, or that I think, like, I know a lot of AEW, like rabid AEW fans are going to think that, like, oh, this is fantastic, but those people probably didn't watch wrestling before like 2005. So, you know, of course, by their standards, this would be like really good. But by my standards, right, this was not, didn't have a lot of heat to it at all. I do have to say, though, I appreciate the fact that they tried, though, that they're trying. They tried to do something different. They tried to use an old school technique of like, oh, the heels bring down the cage to try to trap the baby faces. I have to say that. Credit where credit is due for actually making the attempt. But again, you need some more experienced agents back there. You need some guys like a Heyman or a Russo, or, you know, even no matter what you think about either of those two guys, or Bischoff, like, and no matter what you think about any of those guys, okay, they at least would have had a different take on how to book that segment. And I think that
Kevin Sullivan, bro.
Exactly. More experience backstage would have resulted in this segment going from just being okay to being great. And that's what you want. You need more great segments on this product.
Yep, I'll go through my notes quickly. Ray Phoenix was not even trying with the leg slaps.
No,
it's just you can see it right there. I mean,
it's like he's at a damn hootenanny or something. Like,
yeah. And I remember one quote from you as we were watching it. You said, "These fucking super kicks." They were trading off super kicks like they trade off chops or punches to the face. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it's enough already.
It's outrageous, man. I'm never going to be okay with it, with all the super kicks. I'm never going to just be cool with it.
Yeah. Of all AEW that I've seen, all Young Bucks stuff I've seen, this is the first time I've seen the Meltzer driver look actually good. And it was a good finish to the match. Kenny comes out. Finally, he's dressed the way he should be dressed, bro. He's in a suit. He looks like the champion. He looks good. That's what we need. We don't need him dressing like a fucking tool. We need him looking the part. Again, I've written it before and I'll say it again. The Magic Killer is such a shit move, dude. I don't know why Anderson doesn't have him on like this shoulder, and as Gallows spins, he kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah, throws him
instead of just going like that. Like that seems like that doesn't do anything, whereas this adds fucking impact to it when it comes.
Or even if he still just held him on the other side and still twisted with it and kind of dragon screwed the legs while Gallows went down with the upper body, that would still have more impact, and it would basically be, yeah.
It just seems like there's nothing to that move. I don't know why it.
Especially when Gallows, especially when Anderson doesn't actually bother going down with the move.
Yeah, he doesn't go down at all. Yeah.
Very often he stays on his feet and just does his part standing up.
See, that's where I think he should have him from the other side and go down with the move. He can land on his ass. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay, so the match is over. There's the attack after the match. Luchasaurus put through a table with the fucking Magic Killer. The referees and security not running out to stop what's going on here, considering, you know, Christian's in the ring and, you know, they've got a main event to worry about on Sunday, and he could literally be injured right here. If this were real, Where's security? They need to start thinking about implementing people as security.
All these guys that you've got on Dark for your fucking 35 matches an event, dress them up as security guards for fuck's sake. Like, you know, have some people that are in your Dark matches that you're not using on TV. Have them fill these roles, because like, if this was real, you would have arena security, AEW security, and AEW referees and officials would be interested in stopping all of this from taking place, because it's a direct risk to their respective investments.
Yeah, they've got 500 fucking agents there backstage, surely. But anyway, as this big beatdown's going on, and it's just, this is the difference between having like a creative mind setting this scene and having a bunch of wrestlers who might not be creatively, you know, minded. They might be good at coming up with great matches and things in their matches, not taking away from them. But some people aren't meant to be ones that come up with ideas for scenarios taking place. And I think this is the difference from, like, you know, having a Kevin Sullivan or a Vince Russo or a Paul Heyman or, you know, those types of people, you know, a Krista Joseph, etc. This was so flat. The crowd, there was no insurmountable heat from the crowd. They were quiet as this went on. To me, this should have been pandemonium. This should have been like, the fans should have been booing them out of the building for what they were doing. But I think kind of the problem is that the fans still can't really, they don't really treat Omega and the Bucks as heels. You know what I mean? It's like they love them too much that they just can't seem to like get away from that. That's just a guess, bro. But I remember, I think it was either on a Nitro or a pay-per-view back in the day. It was like either like 96 or 97. They had a cage match like earlier in the show or something like that. The NWO were performing a beatdown in the ring, and someone backstage had lowered the cage whilst this was all happening. And we didn't know, like, I can't quite remember the exact scenario of who did what, but when I remember that scene and then locking these baby faces in the cage, I remember garbage flying through the air, the fans losing their shit, you know, and it just seemed like the segment was so tight back then and everything seemed realistic, whereas this all just seemed very contrived, and it just didn't feel like it was a moment in time where heat is building in a hot air balloon. It just looked like a segment that they tried to get over, but it just didn't work because it kind of dragged on. It was flat. That's all I can really say, bro.
Yeah, it's you know, there'll be fans out there that'll say, oh, well, they'll respond to that by saying, well, we can't throw garbage and stuff. There's rules and everything's so PC and stuff.
And that was my point. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. If it was real heat, the audience would still throw shit anyway. And if you had a heel champion that the audience actually allowed themselves to hate, then you would have real heat, whether people threw things or not. The fact is, they've got to do something that makes Kenny Omega actually look like a fucking asshole. And fucking, like what they've done with Malakai Black. Like Malakai Black, he really, it's early days, but sometime real soon, he could be the AEW champion and I would buy it. Because so far since he's been on the product, he has done things week after week where even if you think that he's cool, you're like, that fucking asshole, man. Like when he fucking kicked Arn Anderson in the balls, man, and fucking kicked his head off, that pissed me off, man. Like I'm a fan of Arn Anderson. I respect the older guys, man. Like that fucking shut me off. You need to have Kenny Omega do things like that as well, where you actually just go, what a fucking asshole. Because at the moment, I mean, we think that he's a fucking asshole and that nothing that whenever he tries to be funny, he's just lame and he's just a fucking nerd. Okay? Plenty of fans think that he's like this cool heel and stuff like that. That perception is hurting Kenny Omega's growth as champion right now.
Yeah. Well, DJ, we said it before, not really a go-home show for us. It was just like, again, things feel same. very often with AEW at the moment. It's always same. Like it's the format of the show just seems the same every week, and the way that they build everything up seems the same, and the way people interrupt promos, it's just same every week. And I'm not trying to be too negative. I did enjoy last week's Dynamite, but it just feels like one week they get me, the next week I'm a bit, God, I just didn't get what I was looking for. I didn't walk away from this being like, oh man, or geez, I can't wait to get to Rampage. I can't wait to get to the pay-per-view. I mean, I've been watching Fear the Walking Dead this week, and when an episode finishes, and even like The Walking Dead season 11, it's only just come out. Episode 3 came out. When I knew the episode was coming to an end, I was like, no, please, not yet. And then the episode ends, and I'm like, damn it, I have to wait another week. That's how I used to feel about wrestling on Monday Night Raw back in 1999, 2000. When the episode was ending, I'd be like, no, oh God, I have to wait another week. This is insane to me. I can't handle this. I don't get that anymore with wrestling.
That's what I used to be like each week as well. And then, like, honestly, the only show that can do that for me is NWA Power. Like, I'm always excited to see what's going to happen next week. Even if I tune out of NWA Power for a while, next time I watch an episode, I'm going to watch it. I'll be invested by the end of it, and I'll be excited to see what happens next week because of the way that they pace their shows. That is something that's missing from this product.
Yeah, and it's missing from WWE as well, as far as I'm concerned. So it's across the board as far as I'm concerned. AEW fans, don't get mad at me. But look, DJ, please, your rating out of 10.
I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10 because it was quite an average show, but there were a few flashes of stuff that I really liked, like Punk's involvement and Sting, and 2.0 and Garcia, and there was some stuff here. So 6.5.
Cool, bro. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Not a go-home show for a pay-per-view for me. Middle of the ground. Nothing seemed to really grab me at all. So it is what it is. That's okay. We'll be back again next week to check it out again, and we'll be reviewing the pay-per-view. We'll review Rampage this weekend. But Juicy Boy, Daniel Johnston, once again, please, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Juicy Boy, JOOSEYBOY. That's Juicy Boy, all one word. I am on Twitch. I am on YouTube. I am on Twitter. I am on Facebook. And of course, I'm always appearing with the WZWA Network, and you can follow along with me there.
Yep. And again, find me on Twitter. It's the only place you can find me now on social media. That's Karlifornia, WZWA, KARLIFORNIA, WZWA, JARRETT.
Don't piss me off.
And of course, bro, everyone out there, you're already on our YouTube, so I don't need to plug that, but you can find WZWA Network on Instagram, TikTok, fucking Twitter, all the fucking things. Look for it, find it. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're whatever, heaps of shit. So just check it out.
Yeah,
check us out there.
All sorts of shit, man. We're everywhere.
Heaps of shit, bro. Heaps of shit. All right. Well, and also Twitch as well. Twitch.tv.
Yeah, man. Twitch. Brand Warfare is returning this week.
This Friday night, baby. So yeah, thank you again, Juicy Boy, Daniel Johnston. Appreciate your time, my friend.
No problem. I appreciate your time as well. Another great review.
Yeah, and thank you everyone out there for watching the AEW Dynamite review here on the WZWA Network. Before we go, again, my thoughts, well wishes with the one and only Daphne.
Best wishes, Daphne. I would like to say something as
Sure, bro. Sure, go.
No. Best wishes to Daphne. I'm a big fan of hers. I've followed along with a lot of her career. It is really sad if something's going on with her like that. And as Carl said, best wishes to Daphne. I hope everything's going to turn out okay.
Yeah, thanks for that, bro. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time.